Hello and welcome back to the channel where we are doing some more of our autumn training. It has been really miserable here, well, everywhere I think the last sort of week, 10 days. So I haven't done a huge amount since the last video in all honesty, but what I thought is instead of doing another video with Dusty and doing pretty much the same sort of stuff, working on the same things, that I'd bring Triple up and do some in-hand work with him. Now, there's loads of in-hand videos on my channel, maybe some with him, but certainly some with Dusty and Gabby and Sunny, but it is something that I like to use a lot. I admittedly haven't done it with mine for a little while because Dusty's been the only one in work, and like I said in the last video, we have been hacking and doing that sort of stuff instead. But yeah, Triple, now that he's doing a little bit more and I'm starting to do the schooling, I do want to do this sort of stuff with him again. And I'm just going to go through a few exercises. I haven't really planned what I'm going to do. I'm going to do what I feel he needs today. Just 15, maybe 20 minutes at a push, probably 15 is plenty. And just see where we're at, so that then when I ride him next in the school, I've got a place where we can start where he knows what he's doing because we've done it on the ground, and I know how much he can do because we've done it on the ground first, and it doesn't get into too much of a battle then. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen we started doing some little bits of leg yield under saddle last time we were up here, and he took to that really well, considering he hasn't ever done that under saddle before, but that's because I've done lots of it in hand. So we're just gonna have a little wander around and you'll see it basically starting how I started Dusty, ridden, very much the same sort of stuff, to be honest. You're gonna be lazy, come on. So I would normally carry a stick, just as an extension of my arm so that I can reach a bit further back, but it's been such a long time since I've actually used one, I don't know where mine is. Come on. So all he needs to work on at the moment is going forward, which is kind of his, I'll do that one actually, how his whole life is. Good boy. We're trying out a new noseband and it's a little bit snug. That's better. Okay, so when I'm starting with horses that haven't done this before or have done very little, I do often leave their head collars on underneath because they can be a little bit backwards thinking about it. Which is understandable, it's a bit of a weird thing to do, they're not used to it, not used to being led in this kind of way. But then I can just ask them to walk forward on the head collar rather than, it's okay, it's just the box, rather than trying to pull him forward on the bridle. So you might see me occasionally doing that with a noseband, just kind of go, come on, walk forward. Just because I haven't got the head collar on, basically. Good boy. But yeah, we just want forward at the moment and not leaning on me. So I may well change. What are you looking at? Good lad. I may well change the positioning of my right hand, but I'm just trying to get a little bit of softness with the inside rein. Yeah, good boy. And the benefit to the in-hand work is that you can put a little bit of downwards pressure, which obviously you can't do when you're riding because you've got no way of doing it. Some horses I'll use my hand in the bit rings, just gives you a much closer stable connection. You can react a lot quicker, you can do things a lot quicker. Sometimes I will use the rein right up close, but I try not to fall back down here because then you do tend to just pull down, and we want to stay here so we can set things up. Good boy, we're getting a nice bit of bend now. We're a bit flat, but good boy. I'm just supporting him then with my right hand. Good lad. We'll throw a little circle in a minute, come on. For such a big boy, you are quite lazy. I think Dusty walks quicker than you. So yeah, I'm gonna ask for a circle, so I'm gonna support with my right hand where my inside leg would be, just to make sure he doesn't fall in on this shoulder. But of course I can use my hand on his shoulder, should I need to, and on his neck. Again, something that you can't really do when you're riding. I mean, you shouldn't really put your leg on this shoulder. Good boy, good boy. Good, so I'm just pushing him to the outside now, he's just fallen in slightly. So we've slowed down. Bit of a compromise on the speed there, but we kept the bend. Good boy. Good. It's just a nice way as well to see where they are. Like, you can't always, I mean, you should be able to feel what's going on, but when you're riding, but sometimes it can be difficult to pinpoint, you know, maybe why they're doing something, why why are they falling in? Is it because they're leaning on this shoulder, or is it because the hind legs are crooked? And you can kind of see, as well as correct a little bit, not necessarily easier, but a bit more precisely with the in-hand stuff. Good boy. And I know a lot of people will find this boring, but it's, oi, come on. It's very good for them. Come on. So again, he's just got a little bit tight there, so I'm asking him to soften on the inside whilst putting my right hand where my inside leg would be. Good boy. To ask him to bend round. And the quarters are getting a bit stiff now, so I'm going to move my hand back slightly to push the quarters over a little bit. Good boy. And then should we do a little leg yield? So I'm going to kind of walk diagonally to persuade him over here. Good boy. Well done. Good. Then you can have a little stretch, a little break. You're just going to stop, aren't you? No, you don't get any sweeties. You're meant to still be walking. Now he's our biggest. Come on, walking. This is where the head collar would be good. And obviously I'm not very tall. Well, I'm not in any way tall. So for me, having my arm up a bit higher, it does hurt your shoulder after a while. So, you know, you might find if you've got something smaller that it's easier. And if you're small and got something really big, you might have to adjust how you're doing things, which I think, personally, I think is fine. I think a bit like when you're riding, you kind of find something, a way that's comfortable for you, good boy, and adapt it from there. As long as you're doing the right things. If you're doing it in a slightly different way, I think it's okay. Good boy. And this is a prime example. I'm gonna hold my reins slightly differently this side because I am extremely cack-handed. And very, very one-sided. Good boy. So I hold everything differently, but it's comfortable and it works, so I don't care. Right, he's already really leaning on me this side, so my left arm is really having to push him across on the left shoulder. I'm trying to push him into his left shoulder rather than him falling into the right one. My God, it's roasting now. This weather is crazy. Good boy. So it's not going to be as fluid this way because I can feel he's tight, but I've got more chance of keeping him straight whilst asking him to bend on the ground at the moment. Come on, over, over. See, I'm using it on his neck sometimes as well, which again is fine. Just kind of use that inside aid wherever you feel you need to. Yeah, I've got more chance of doing that on the ground at the moment than I do when I'm under saddle, because if he doesn't move away from my inside leg, which to be fair to him, he's not too bad with, but say you had one that didn't, then you're just going to end up in the middle of the arena. Yes, you might have bend, but you're not going to stay on the track. Whereas this way, I can kind of use my whole body and be more precise with my aids to keep him into the outside shoulder. Come on, which is why we've now stopped. And kind of get him stronger like that, so it then becomes easier under saddle. That's what all the groundwork is just about, making it easier when you do ride them. Realistically, so they know what they're doing, and you have kind of almost pre-warned them that, right, this is what I want you to do, this is what I'm expecting of your body, and you give them a chance to build those muscles up, the suppleness, whatever it is. Then when you get on, it's going to be so much easier. Yeah, he is really, really leaning on me. And yeah, you'll find that they have a good and a bad side like us. Like I said, I'm extremely cack-handed. I'm very, very right-hand dominant, and my left hand doesn't really do anything. Good boy. Which is why I find this way harder myself as well, because it's relying on my left arm, which is much weaker. Good boy. Come on. So we've maybe compromised a little bit on the speed, but you can see sometimes when I'm asking him to go across, he might speed up a little bit because obviously I'm effectively putting pressure on him, and he might be losing his balance a little bit. He might, Nova, watch out. Good boy. Yeah, so he might be getting a little bit wobbly, so then we speed up. Let him have a little bit of a long rein down here. You've got to keep walking. Every time I drop my reins, he's like, okay, we're finished. Good boy, well done. Yeah, I like to give them a little, same as when you're riding, give them a little break, let them have a little stretch, especially if you've just done something that is quite hard or new, like when you're teaching lateral work. I tend to do a rule of 3. We do it 3 times, doesn't matter how good or bad those 3 times are, they don't know. Good boy, as long as they try. I know it's a scary corner. Can we not, even though we're just walking, can we not walk into me? Good boy. Yeah, we do 3 times and then they have a little break. Generally, you know, might occasionally do 4, but that's what we were aiming for. Good boy. Okay, should we come up the 3/4 line here? Let's do a little leg yield to the track. I can't remember when we did this under saddle the other week which way he went better. It might have actually been this way, which sounds a bit, oh, maybe not. I might take that back. So this is where I could just do my stick, just to give him a little tickle, kind of a little bit further back, to say bring your quarters over. Oh, good boy. So he's a bit sticky with the right hind here. I'm kind of having to walk into him a little bit more and also push him across. Well done, good boy. Yeah, I'm sure under saddle though, we'll have a little break as well. Now while we go around to the next side. Good boy. Yeah, I'm sure under saddle he went better this way because, well, when you're teaching them, I tend to find, rightly or wrongly, that with specifically the leg yields, their stiffer side, they do better because they don't tend to overbend. So say this was his more supple side, I'd find he'd come right round to the inside. We'll stand and look at the crow. He'd come right round like this and then be completely bent round effectively your inside leg and just be kind of, he'd still go sideways, good boy, but going out through the shoulder, whereas on their stiffer side, they don't have that range of movement yet to bend. So they stay straighter, so they actually do the leg yield more correctly rather than like this, because there shouldn't be loads of bend. Well, shouldn't really be any bend in a leg yield, but we do tend to keep a little bit of inside bend. And especially when you are starting them, yes, having a bit of bend is quite helpful. Good boy. Ah, slow down. Why are we speeding now? What's the crow said to you? No. So when he's leaning, oh my God, it's boiling. I'm just going to try and push the shoulders across first because we've gotten stuck now. Rather than go forward, I'm saying, right, we do want to go forward, but we also want to go sideways. Yeah, he's just leaving the quarters behind this way, and then that's when it's getting all a bit sticky. Good boy. But that's exactly why I want to do these sorts of things. Because I now know, okay, if I rode him tomorrow, for example, I can go, right, well, I can expect him to do X, Y, Z. If I ask him to do a leg yield on the right rein, I kind of know what's going to happen and I can preempt it and try and sort it. I mean, it needs a lot more fixing on the ground first, personally, but that's not to say you just ignore the ridden stuff. You know, if I was going to ride him tomorrow, I'm not necessarily not going to do any lateral work just because it's not great on the ground yet. I'm just not going to expect it to be great. Right, stop. You're being a bit nosy now. I wonder if the others are shouting. I can't hear them. So because he finds this way difficult, I'm going to bring him a little bit closer to the track this time. So he knows he's got to go over there. I'm going to flex him a bit towards me and then actually put a bit of pressure against his cheek to help push him across. Yeah, good boy. Good boy. Well done. But yeah, you can see that's hard. Good lad. So, similarly to, you just want to stop and stand still, don't you? Similarly to what we did with Dusty, I think I did it with Dusty anyway, is doing some counter bending. I'm sure we did do some counter bending. If we didn't, this is also what I'm doing with Dusty to fix her kind of crookedness and try and get her a bit asymmetrical. So what I'm going to do, because he finds the right harder, I'm going to stay on the right side of him, but change the rein, so I'm now on the outside of him, so he won't be able to see me, unfortunately, because he's much bigger than me. And I'm going to flex him in towards the fence, and basically just use the fence to help us. I know the crow's been very noisy today, but it's not as if you've never heard a bird before. But yeah, I'm going to use the fence to give us a hand. Good boy. So yeah, when you're doing, it's all right. Why are you finding the crow scary? Hey? So you'll see I keep my outside rein, which, sorry, it's not, well, it will be my outside rein because we're going to be bending to the right. Stop leaning on me. So whichever way you're bending, the opposite way becomes your outside, regardless of the arena fence. So my outside will now be my left rein. Trip, come on. And you'll see I'm keeping that, even though I wanted to bend this way, I'm keeping it sort of snug. Good boy. Obviously this electric fence is not on, otherwise I'd be in trouble. Good boy. But yeah, I just want to see where he can kind of bend to. Also, it just flew into my head. Good boy. And it's not a huge amount. You might not be able to see from that angle, but good boy, that's better. I just kind of want him to move into his left shoulder a little bit. Good boy. And also to bring the quarters across slightly. So it's not a massive leg yield along the wall, but it doesn't need to be. And if he starts doing that, where he's leaning into me, I just put a little bit of pressure on the side of his face, just to almost push him away. So I'm still asking for bend and softness. Good boy, and walk properly. But I can use my hand to just turn his head. Come on. The same as some sort of long cheeks of some bits. So like your D-rings, your fulmars, your full cheeks, give you a little bit of pressure on the face, which can help with turning. Come on. You can do the same with your hand. Now, obviously we don't have a fence up this way, but we have an imaginary fence, so we'll see how it goes. Good boy. Okay, he's a little bit fast, but I'm going to take the forwards and see if we can control it a little bit. So I'm using my hand, I'm switching between pushing him on his shoulder like now. Pay attention, come on. Good boy. Yeah, good. And then if I feel like his quarters needs a bit of help, I'll switch my hand to go behind, effectively behind the girth to push the bum out. But his problem is more the front legs and whatever seems to be in this hedge that you don't like today. Steady. So see, we've lost it, so I'm going to go behind this time. Yeah, good boy. Just a couple more steps and then we're in the corner. Yeah, good. Good boy. Walk on. Good boy. And then we'll just have a walk again. Oh no, hang on. My alarm's going off. This is the second time I've done this when my alarm's gone off. I've just seen we've been 18 minutes as well, so I am nearly finished. All I want to do is do this exercise on the other rein to see a comparison for a start. And obviously, you know, you do really need to do stuff both reins. What you might find though is that, okay, yeah, their weaker side or the side that they find more difficult, do one, maybe two more of the same exercise, just to kind of build up. No, walk on. So this is where your head collar would be good. Walk on. Come on. Brr. Brr. Good lad. So you want a bit of energy. I don't want him to stop dead, but it needs to be calm energy. There is a fine line, especially with him, where he can get a little bit, oh yeah. If he thinks he's done something wrong, he can get a little bit antsy, bless him. Good boy, that's nice. Good. Couple more steps. Very good. And I'm actually going to straighten him up and we'll go there. Good boy. Because he did plenty of good steps then. Come across here and we'll change the rein. So I'm going to swap sides and we're going to change direction. Good boy. And we're going to go the other way. Give my arm a rest because, God, he has been leaning on it. But yeah, obviously this is, again, the very basics. If I ever get Sonny back in work, he's a lot more advanced with this sort of stuff. He can get a little bit aggy, but he does know a lot more, which is a bit more fun to watch, I admit. But yeah, if you're looking for things to do when it's, you know, you've only got 15 minutes to do something because it's going to get dark soon or whatever, this can be really helpful. It's really good for warming up as well. So obviously you can do all this with your tack on. Good boy. Yeah, this is much easier. I'm putting so much less pressure on his shoulder here. I've got my hand just at where the girth would be. Good boy. You know, he's trying to walk forward occasionally, but he's just much more supple this way. So he finds it much easier. So when he's getting stuck, good boy, the other way, it's not because he's being, you know, disobedient or resistant or anything like that. It's because he cannot do it. It's like some people who, you know, have learned to do the splits one way and then they try and do it the other way and they can't. It's just because he is not supple enough that way yet to do the same, basically. Good boy. And I can't do the splits at all, so you're doing good. Good boy. So I'm gonna ask for the quarters to come across a little bit more, or to come out a bit more, I should say, really. Good boy. That's it. And it doesn't matter if it's a bit stop-start, as long as you keep it chill and calm. If you kind of do one step and then halt, one step and halt, but it's good quality, walk on, then it's fine. Good. It gives them a bit of processing time as well, rather than rushing through it and then them kind of going, I actually don't know what the hell I just did. Good boy. Good. And this way, all I really want is his front legs to stay on the track. It's okay, because obviously we don't have the fence this side. Good boy, walk on. Brrr, brrr. Good boy. So again, have a little break. And I'm just pushing forward slightly as I come back. Pick my reins back up. And we'll go again, a little bit of bend to the left. Move him into the outside right shoulder. Good. And as he gets more supple, I can ask for a little bit more angle. But I don't necessarily need to. This is, to be honest, this is absolutely fine. Good boy. But you can start stringing it together with other movements once you know them. Hey, mate. Good boy. Like we could go into traverse from here. You know, we're halfway there. We just need the bend. Ah, good. Not quite. One day. Good boy. But yeah, it's nice when they've got a bit more of a repertoire of stuff in their toolkit. It's nice to be able to just join things together and just keep them bending, keep them moving. Even just in walk. You know, obviously, yeah, it's nice to do the lateral work in trot and eventually in canter as well. But even if you could only manage it in walk, but it's good. It's of such benefit to them. Is it the dog? Go on, no, right away. Right, walk on. Come on, this is your last one. Make it a good one. Good boy. Come on. Good. Good boy. Oops. No, I didn't mean to drop you then, I know. Good lad. Well done. A bit more from the quarters. But yeah, I'm just looking that the outside right shoulder moves across and kind of opens up. And that the inside hind, his left hind, good boy, crosses over, especially, yeah, nice. Good. Those are the two kind of big things that help with his balance and the suppleness. Come on, a little bit further, a couple more steps. One big step from behind. Good. Good boy. Good boy. And then actually let's do a turn on the forehand. Let's keep it going. Good boy. He says, oh no, I can't. Oh, good boy, good try. Well done. The dog's hiding in the bushes over there, isn't she? Good lad. Right. Well, short and sweet, that's all you need to do. See, there's lots that we haven't done that he's done before, like the Giravolta, which there is definitely videos of that on the channel. It's like leg yielded shoulder in on a circle, turn on the forehand, turn on the haunches. See, we'll work up to shoulder in, we'll work up to traverse, which will then move into half pass and pirouette, and you know, they all help each other, and they definitely help them be more flexible, more supple. And when you start getting, you know, your shoulder and traverse and stuff like that, they do help the collection as well, and self carriage and lifting the front end. So don't knock it till you've tried it. It's easier than you think, but also more difficult in some ways for them. So don't, you know, a lot of them pick it up very quickly, but if they've never done it before, it can be a bit messy to start with, but that's just part of the process. I mean, that has definitely been quite messy today, and my arms are a bit sore, which is another reason why 15-20 minutes is plenty. What's the matter? But yeah, this has probably been largely uncut, so this is literally the whole session, which, I mean, hopefully is good, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. And same as with Dusty, we'll do a little bit and we'll come back. Maybe I'll do some and then we'll move it into the ridden work, and you can see how I use the two together. I don't know, let me know what you want to see anyway. And hopefully it stops raining for long enough, and we can get some more filmed, and we'll see you in the next one. You look worn out, mate. It wasn't that hard. Your brain hurts though, doesn't it? It makes your brain hurt. Good boy. Okay, let's go and sort everything out, and then you can go back in the field. Oh, I heard Charlie then. They're all shouting at you. Well done, good concentrating. You good boy. Whoa, otherwise it's gonna